Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido o bienvenida a esta lección. Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Hoy vamos a hablar acerca de algo muy importante. Today we're going to be talking about something very important, and it is a question that I am asked all the time, honestly probably every single day, and that is, how do I be less nervous when speaking Spanish? Now, this is one of the biggest struggles that beginning Spanish learners face, and even advanced Spanish learners. Even to this day, sometimes I get a little nervous when I first start speaking Spanish with a stranger. So this is something that's completely normal, but today we're going to learn how we can kind of get over this fear and how we can increase our confidence when speaking Spanish with people. Okay, so right off the bat, number one, if there's one thing you're going to remember from this lesson, it's that realize that 99.99% of people don't care about your bad Spanish, okay? It's interesting because you think that when you go and you speak Spanish with someone and you think you're butchering things and you're saying things, completely wrong, people are going to be judging you, they're going to be laughing at you, but it's actually quite the opposite reaction. I think in the past 7-8 years of me speaking and learning Spanish, I would say I've had maybe one or two bad reactions to me speaking Spanish. But the thousands of other people that I've spoken with have all been like, wow, this is so cool. And I always like to tell people that it's kind of like this thing where it's bizarre, but you can just make some new sounds and then all of a sudden you're communicating to that person that, hey, I'm trying to learn your language. I'm trying to understand where you come from and who you are right here at heart, okay? Because language is such a core part of our being, right? So realize that 99% of people don't care about your bad Spanish, okay? People are just going to want to help you. They're going to think it's cool that you're learning their language. So don't worry about what they're thinking, okay? Because most times they're just going to think, this is awesome, all right? Next, accept that you'll make mistakes and that you always will make mistakes, okay? It is inevitable. When you're learning Spanish, you're going to make mistakes. I still make mistakes to this day. I still have to translate words to this day, okay? So let that be a motivator to you. Although you might think, wow, okay, well, Nate has really good Spanish. How is it that he's still learning, okay? Well, it's important to have a growth mindset, okay? To say, you know what? I am always going to be learning Spanish. I can always improve, okay? And this mindset doesn't apply just to learning Spanish, okay? Anything that you want to do and learn and get to, know better, okay? It takes time, okay? And you're always going to be learning. That's the fun part about all of this, okay? So just accept that you're going to make mistakes, you're going to make a fool of yourself, you're going to look silly. But remember, people don't care if you make mistakes or if you look silly, okay? People want to help you, all right? Next is to go slow. I feel like this is something that's really underrated. I remember when I first started learning Spanish, I would start speaking with people, I'd get all excited, then I'd try to speak a million miles a minute, and then I would end up making 10 million mistakes. And, people would be like, dude, what are you saying to me? I cannot understand you at all. So go slow, okay? It's okay to go slow. As opposed to saying, hola, ¿cómo estás? Ah, qué bueno que estés bien. But you don't need to talk like that, okay? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Ah, sí, gracias, okay? It doesn't need to be this crazy fast thing. You don't need to impress anyone, okay? Go slow, because not only are you going to have a better accent when you're speaking slower, but you're also going to have more time to process and think about words you want to use. The sentence structure, okay? So your Spanish is going to sound a lot better, okay? So go slow, all right? There's no need to go a million miles a minute. Now, this is the most important one. Speak often to increase your confidence, okay? It sounds counterintuitive, but the number one way to increase your confidence when speaking Spanish and to be less nervous when speaking to new people is to speak to them often, okay? The more and more you're speaking Spanish, the more and more comfortable and confident you're going to feel when speaking with random strangers, okay? So just like, if you have a presentation and you're really nervous about giving this presentation, okay, right? If you're really well prepared, that's going to kill a lot of those nerves, right? As opposed to going into a presentation, just completely winging it, it's going to be a lot more nerve-wracking, all right? But if you're prepared, if you've been practicing, if you've been doing it often, you're going to feel much more confident. Same thing with speaking Spanish, okay? It's the same idea there, okay? Now, a lot of times people will ask me, well, Nate, how do I approach people? What do I say when I want to practice Spanish with people, okay? Now, if you don't have people in your city or local area that speak Spanish, no big deal. You can find people online. I've spoken about apps such as Tandem or HelloTalk, two awesome free apps that are online language exchanges you can check out. And if you've seen my other videos on my Nate's Adventures YouTube channel, then you'll know that I use a website called omegle.com to speak with Spanish-speaking strangers. The only thing is Omegle can be a little bit sketchy sometimes. You can get a little sketchy people on there, so just be aware of that. That's another great way to speak Spanish with people for free online if you don't have access to native speakers in your area. Okay, but these are kind of two of the questions that I'll ask people when I want to practice with them. Number one is, I heard you speaking Spanish. Would you mind if I practice with you? Sorry about this. I rubbed it with my sombrero here. Would you mind if I practice with you? Okay, so here in Southern California where I live, a lot of times you hear people speaking Spanish. Now, whenever I hear people speaking Spanish, a lot of times if I'm in a group of people with friends, I really try to hold back and not say, hey, I heard you speaking Spanish. Would you mind if I practice with you? But whenever I'm alone or whatever, if I hear someone speaking Spanish, 9 out of 10 times I'm going to say, oh, hey, I heard you speaking Spanish. I'm learning. Would you mind if I practice with you? And then 9 out of 10 times people are like, yes, of course. So that's kind of one little phrase. The other one is, do you speak another language? Because at the end of the day, you can't profile people. You can't look at someone and say, oh, hey, that person looks Latino, therefore I'm going to speak Spanish with them. A lot of times, you're going to do that to someone, and they're going to be like, dude, I don't speak Spanish, okay? So just don't do that, okay? Better to say, hey, do you speak another language? Say, oh, yeah, I speak Spanish, or oh, yeah, I speak Arabic, or whatever. Or they say, no, I just speak English. And then you go, okay, cool. But anytime you might think, oh, that person might speak Spanish, they have a slight accent, or oh, I thought I heard them speaking some other language, okay? You can just say, hey, do you speak another language, okay? Don't be embarrassed. This isn't something that should be weird or uncomfortable, okay? Because I kid you not, when you engage and start these conversations and you start, speaking Spanish with people or whatever their language may be, ask them about it, people just open up to you like you would not believe, okay? I've shared this quote many times before, but there's a quote from Nelson Mandela, and it goes something along the lines of, if you speak to a man in his second language, you're speaking to his brain, but if you speak to him in his first language, you're speaking to his heart. And it is so true. Cheesy, but so true, okay? The other day, just a quick story for you. The other day, I was in an Uber, and my driver clearly spoke another language, and so I said to him, hey, do you speak another languages? I love learning languages, and I'm just curious. And he said, oh, yes. I speak Arabic. And I said, oh, that's awesome. Where are you from? He said, Syria. I said, oh, no way. I have a few friends from Syria and also Lebanon. And then we go on to have this awesome conversation about his home country, why he's now in the U.S. And we just developed a really strong bond in this short little 15-minute Uber ride. And it's always very meaningful to have those kinds of connections with people, okay, regardless of the language, okay? So when it comes to wanting to practice speaking Spanish to people, here are some things that you could say, okay? Now, remember, 99% of people don't care about your quote-unquote bad Spanish, okay? You're going to make mistakes. Go slow, no rush, and speak as much as possible. This is going to be the best way to be less nervous in speaking Spanish and to ultimately increase your confidence, okay? So just get out there. Don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed. People don't care if you have bad Spanish, okay? And it's only going to get better the more and more you're going out there and practicing, and you're only going to get more and more confident the more and more you're speaking. Bueno, muchas gracias por ver esta lección. Te lo agradezco mucho. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any extra questions or comments, you can leave me a comment in the comment section below. And you can also check out my website, SpanishWithNate.com, where I have my Fluent Spanish Speaker Academy, where I teach you how to speak fluent Spanish. Bueno, que tengas muy buen día y nos vemos muy pronto. Chao.